Good evening, Sean.
Evening, Dave. How are you?
I am very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. We are super psyched, right, tonight? Super psyched.
Yeah. hmm
And why are we super psyched, Sean?
Because we're playing a game
Mm-hmm.
that we are in fact making ourselves.
Yay!
Yeah.
Making a game.
We're making a
Yay!
game called Making It Home.
Uh-huh.
hmm
Yes, making it home. That is the next Pillbug game. Um, we have been talking about this, trailing this, gifting this, tweeting this, patroning this.
Yeah.
For how long now?
Oh God. How long have we been actually? A year?
Has it been
Over
a
a
year?
year now.
No, not over. Oh
Yes,
gosh, I guess it
yes,
must
yes,
be
it
over a year.
has. Because I've taken it to Graganog, and I've been so like it's been a while.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we I don't know. It's not fair to say we broke our own rule, but we were trying. It was in our minds as a two-person indie developer to try and get a game out every year, right?
Yes.
And to scope a game in that space, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So I don't want to start this stream perhaps on a slight down note, but what happened, Sean? Like, why?
Games take a long time to make.
They do. Fair. And this game, as we're about to see it and play through it, and for those of you who haven't seen it, obviously you'll be seeing it for the first time. Those of you who have will have noticed all the things that we've changed, and we'll point that out as we play through. This game has grown and has taken, I suppose, Sean and I a bit by surprise in places in terms of how it's stretched us and stretched the idea and stretched the scope of the game. But we're in control, right, Sean? We're totally in control of that.
Yeah.
So without further ado, this is the menu screen for Making It Home.
Can you click back so we can see the awesome logo?
Oh, of course. Sorry. Yeah, no, that's my bad. My bad, everyone.
Yeah.
There's the
It took me
logo.
ages to make this menu screen, Dave. The least you can do is show these amazing transitions.
And I ruined it already. Yeah.
So
look at the smooth transition there. So yeah, the game does come helpfully loaded with 3 different profiles, so you can build stuff and change stuff to your heart's delight on 3 separate saves. And then we have new game and a weekly challenge mode, which I recently gift this beautiful menu screen, Sean. In fact, the weekly challenge has changed since, so that's exciting.
I think we should end with a weekly challenge.
Okay, all right.
But let's dive in.
Let's dive in. All this menu talk is getting me hungry. So this is just a God mode for our development, so we'll ignore that. We're going to have a standard start this evening. Okay. Look at my super swift loading screen. You didn't even see it, did you?
Yeah.
So I'm going to play on controller today.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's something I've been
growing
at doing. So we are in our dialogue system. And we've kind of trailed a little bit of this already at various places. But this is still developing quite nicely, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
We've got an NPC avatar up here. We've got some newer Smoke versions, I think, for us to put into the game at some point.
Yeah, we need to sit down together and get that in.
But you can see you get 3 options in response to this person, whoever it is, this crab, is talking to us. So he says, "Are you hearing me, kid?" And our responses are just 5 more minutes, "I'm not ready," or "Let's do this." Sean, what would Dr. House say?
Let's do this. We're not going to roleplay his house again.
We're not? Oh.
Well, okay, we can. Okay, I'm not ready. Are we going to do the house thing?
It's as good
it's going to be really hard to do that.
To channel house. Okay. So there's our player avatar. Look at her blink. I think in a moment something's going to happen. There we go. A little antenna wiggle there. So it says, "I'm not ready," and then we just proceed, and so on and so forth. So there is no ready, it's now or never. I think I'll go with never. You're not going to let this go, are you? So House would probably say, I think I'll go with never. So we give the player the opportunity to see their dialogue as, their choice that they've made happens as well. We kind of went back and forth on whether or not that's kind of slows things down too much or whatever. But so our smoking crab friend says, snap out of it. You've got to get back on your feet. Now, this isn't going to be easy, but what is in life, right? I'm going to say that's the truth because it sure is the truth. And you've got some learning to do. No one's going to blame you for that. Baby steps. Remember. And then we appear to be calling this person Rusty. So I'm going to say, sure, Rusty. Almost as if we know him already.
Yeah. Is this called world building, Dave?
Could be. Yes. Yeah. A slow drip feed, a gradual reveal. I'll be in Santa Ana taking care of business, but I can't wait too long. Get there soon, and maybe I can help some. Okay. So that sounds like a call to adventure. So we get a blueprint to start with. Because we've got to get to Santa Ana, and at the moment we don't really know how we're going to do that. So we get to choose between sail and solar panel, and we get a little bit of kind of flavor text here in terms of maybe how they work, what they look like on the sprites, and little GIFs on this blueprint vendor as to what you actually have to do.
That was Frozen's idea.
Yeah, it sure was. So thanks
for that.
Thank you.
So I'm quite. I think that works really well.
Yep.
Spider-Man did that. And so like all the abilities you could look. It's definitely something I'm noticing more in games.
Yeah.
And even like we're going to play Frostpunk next week. They do it in the tutorial as well. So yeah, Spider-Man's great if you haven't played it, by the way.
So that's a nice kind of extra thing to do because some of these panels, I suppose you could say, like especially early on in the game, you're not necessarily sure how to interact with them. So I mean, this isn't the be all and end all. That's not the only thing you can do with these panels, but it gives a player a sense of, oh, so this is A, what they do, and B, how I'm going to interact with them, which is quite hard for text to really convey in the same way that moving image does, right? So it's much more efficient. I'm going to guess solar panel is going to be the popular choice of this evening, Sean. So there we are. And then we move on to our map screen. So this has changed quite a bit since we last streamed. Making it home.
This really was a real difficult point. What would you call it? A kind of a tricky design point is how to do this, and then we just went for the simplest option, and I think it really works.
Yes,
which is it's in the flipping truck stop.
Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah. We did have a whole separate screen which acted like a whole separate scene in Unity, right?
Yeah. Well, a different level. You'd have a loading screen and then.
So, we liked the idea that it would be a bit, it's got to feel interactable and it's got to feel a little chunky and juicy, and it might get there's different things that we might do, like in other builds we had an indication that Rusty was waiting for you at Santa Ana and stuff, but this at the moment is just kind of showing you the different routes. And letting you pick where you can go, and obviously in this first instance you can only go to Santa Ana. It's like a tutorial-esque leg, so you don't get too much choice. It's for those of you who have been watching our stream regularly, you might know a little bit of. You might see some similarities between this and the FTL kind of approach. I think that was one of the ways I was sold on this working that way. So, so yeah. Without further ado, we'll get going. So you start, for those of you who haven't seen this game before, you're in your little ladybug jumping around a vehicle. You can fall off and you're automatically put back on. And we've got this X button prompt here, Sean. So,
yes.
So, what's that all about?
Well, now you push X.
Yep. So now I can push X. And I can also, the build system, whilst I'm kind of locked into the build system, it kind of takes over the controller, and I can now move my kind of blueprint targeter left and right, and I can also shoulder button to change between the two blueprints that I have available to me at the start, because remember we chose solar panels. So now solar panels are available, and solar panels need an engine to get going.
Yeah.
So I'm going to build, and we also need these wheels for different panels. So I'm going to just build some stuff.
We do in fact need wheels to move.
We do need wheels to move. No, I don't want that. I want that. There we go.
I know. It's
yeah. You heard it here first, people. So I'm just kind of just wondering what I want to do. I want to do this. So I have built a ton of vehicles, right? So as soon as you how best to explain this, but as soon as you move out of this system, like you jump, then you're back into regular controls for the player. But once you press X again, you're back into the build system. So it is hopefully easy to come out of and into, but it also, like, I've seen people when we've showcased it have just pressed jump accidentally and ended up out of the build system. So it's whether or not I'm interested in whether or not we're going to lock in a player at some point with that. I don't know.
So you have to. Well, we could make it so that you have to move out with you have to walk out of the.
Sure.
Have you played this since the last time I put an update in? By the way.
No. So I'm excited to see. Yeah. So one of the new things that I can notice immediately is these thrust arrows.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were initially behaving quite differently, or like in the last build they were behaving quite differently.
Yeah, they were coming out of the panel. But you said when we did a test in Cardiff, some people were saying they found that quite confusing. Because it wasn't. It was hard to really figure out. It's a really difficult thing because, it goes back to when I used to teach physics and the idea of those arrows are representing the acceleration the thrust that particular panel's giving you.
Yeah.
And so, how do you represent that? So the player can see that one's working.
Yes. That's the challenge. Yeah. So, again, I'm not sure how many people have or have not seen this game yet, but that was a leg, or what Sean and I have been calling a leg, from one location to the next. So we went from Los Angeles to Santa Ana. And whilst that was going on, you may have noticed that we didn't talk about it because we were talking about other devy stuff. But the player model, what I was doing mostly was wiping the solar panels clean to make sure that they were clean to generate electricity and jumping around collecting coins. You may have been able to hear a kind of coin sound effect in the background. I haven't got them on too loud. But you should be able to maybe hear that as I collected them. That was the two things on that short leg. And of course, for me who has played this game thousands of times, that's kind of second nature now. But obviously, to a first-time player, what to do and how to do it, in any game takes a little bit of ramping up, doesn't it? So,
I think we should talk about that kind of tutorialization at some point once we've got into a few legs.
Yeah. So Rusty's not actually here, despite that avatar being there. So that's obviously something that's going to change, and you can tell because his kind of the dialogue avatar's not there. His face ain't there. Yeah. His body is, but his face isn't. So he's left you a note basically. So we're going to have a separate kind of image for note, I think, at some point in there.
Yeah.
But we do get to pick a new blueprint in our blueprint vendor. Okay.
Okay.
So, we've got. You put a GIF in for the trampoline. That's cool. The trampoline is one of our newest panels, and it's not quite functioning in the way that we want yet, as much as I like the idea of a trampoline. It's not quite animated enough yet. So,
I should probably also say that I wrote the flavor text for that trampoline there. That wasn't Dave.
I would be very proud of that flavor text. I probably would have risked The Simpsons copyright infringement. So I'm actually going to go with the forward bellows, and I'm going to do that for a reason that will become obvious in a moment. Once I've chosen my blueprint, I get an opportunity to do a shift in the diner, which is a way of generating some extra, $10 per hour. So at the moment, it's certainly incentivized for you to work in the diner, but it does come with time consequences.
Yeah, so the reason, it might be worth pointing out, the reason Rusty wasn't there is because you took too long.
Yes, exactly. So there are consequences to how long you take to get from place to place.
Yeah.
So, Sean, we Barstow, Palm Springs, or Indio?
I think you should start with Barstow, and then we're going to do a few runs, and then maybe we'll just remember if you start from the top and the next one you go.
Okay,
one.
Like it. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to build some forward bellows, right? So I'm going to build them. I'm actually going to build them here.
Okay.
Okay, because I want some stuff here. I'm going to build one here.
Interesting.
And I'm going to build one here. Okay. I can't because I don't have the money. So, because I haven't used the forward bellows a huge amount, so I'm excited to see. So the way the forward bellows work is you jump into them, or like that, and they generate thrust, right? They generate quite a bit of thrust. They're good on thrust.
Yeah.
But they also let you do a new feature in the game, which is wall jumping, right? That's something we didn't have in a very early build. Well, an earlier build, should I say. Certainly the last time you and I streamed Making It Home, we did not have wall jumping.
Correct.
And I think it's transformative, right? Like, it's fun. Like, wall jumping is fun. Like, thanks, thanks to Games Circa 2000 for checking that we've enjoyed that. Or I suppose earlier than that. Do you know when wall jumping came into effect, Sean, in platformers? What was the first game that
What was the first wall jump? That's a really good question.
Yeah, for the game historians out there.
Yeah, that's a good one to find. So Nacho's asked a question relevant to this. What were our thoughts on movement? Were you guys set on it being free, or did you ever think about snapping between sections? And absolutely, when we first designed this game, it was snapping between sections.
How did I miss that?
It was almost but that mainly we were talking about this before we came on, but this is the first time we have in any of our games that there's animation.
Yes. Yeah.
And originally we kind of were so scared of animation that we gave that as a constraint, is that we can't have animation. And so that immediately said we can't have this free movement, and it was almost like a board game. Like you clicked on the panels and you would be like, okay, right, I'm going to put my player avatar here, now here, now here. But then I think it's we just can't do that. Yeah, we just can't do that anymore. But as soon as we added that movement, it just opened up a massive amount of design space for those bellows. Like those bellows couldn't exist without that movement. And it I think that's where the fun is. And I think we need to talk about the fun zone as well.
Yes. Yes.
Let's do a feeler run, and then we can kind of get deep as you're playing. But who's this, Dave?
This is another one of our wacky zany characters who's actually not wacky or zany. This is the rabbit, or Ellen, as she likes to be formally known. And this is our sister. And she says, "You wound up here, huh? I guess driving something expensive paid off, finally." Okay, interesting. So we can say, "Hello, Ellen. Good to see you too, sis," or "How did you find me?" How are you feeling about this? How would House respond?
House would say, "How would you find me?"
Okay, how did you find me? Dad told me. He said you were in bad shape. That should be in a bad shape. So mark that typo down, Sean.
Okay, I'll get my typo sheet.
You didn't believe him, did you? I think he's scared.
You didn't believe him, did you?
Yeah, we didn't believe him, did you? What does Dad know about anything? Does Dad know about anything? Okay, look at that little mouse. No, not mouse. Rabbit nose.
I do like the. I think you've done a good job on the rabbit.
The little mouse. Yeah, good. sure, I guess he just wants to help. So we didn't get an option on that, Sean. We just got told we had to say, sure, I guess he just wants to help. What help can any of us be? Really, this is all on you. Okay, and now we also don't get like an option. We have to say, are you serious? So I've played around in this dialogue tree system of how does it feel when you don't get a choice. So I'm interested in how players feel about that. They pretend talking helps, but you should know better by now. Makes a change from the TV, Sean. You're right, talking isn't helping. We're going to give her a little bit of sass.
I think House would be sassy, right?
Sassy. You're right, talking isn't helping. You've just got to be strong like I was. It didn't take me long to sort myself out. Okay. This isn't some kind of competition. Great pep talk, coach. You think you did that alone?
We go with the most sarcastic option every time. That's a house
thing to do. So, great pep talk, coach. Softly, softly doesn't work. You need someone to push you, says our sister Ellen. Come by and be awful anytime. Just don't take too long here. You've got a family, people depending on you. Okay. So, let's get some more money. Money is good. We don't get the choice of cross routing, as it were.
No.
So we have to choose Baker. Baker is our next location. We're in the dark.
Oh, because you worked.
Because I worked.
Some consequences, isn't there, for the working late?
Yeah.
So Natchu's asked, I know it's early days. Have you guys thought about spin-offs or DLC, any other kind of bugs and insects?
Ooh, that's a good question. We haven't. Like, I think it's the fair and honest answer.
Yeah. We've been thinking a lot about how we're going to release it recently. I like. There's always a risk of kind of like, I think we can trust you guys. Like, do we want to say what we've been thinking?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So we're kind of thinking at the moment of releasing in early, but we got a beta test first. So like, the first people who get hold of that are our patrons.
Yep.
Then, if you join our mailing list at pillbug.zone, then like the next phase of testing, you'll get access to that build. And then we're going to release an early access version, which is just going to be this first act. The game's going to have 3 acts in it, which are going to be quite different for a bunch of reasons. We'll get to talk that. We'll explain a bit later on when we get further in how that's going to work. And then we'll release updates. So it will be kind of, it's all going to be free. Like it's, we'll release the next chapters. We want to make sure early access, we want it to be the thing you get to start with, to be something that's worth the price of admission, I guess, from day one. But, but some people don't like early access, and that's like fine. It's for people who want to kind of be with it. Yeah. And then we'll see, I think the way we've designed this game, and I think the way we work on a lot of our games, is we kind of let the game lead us. In that sense that we found that the most fun thing with this game, the fun zone, was jumping around your vehicle. There's like the core fun in this.
Yeah.
So H said episodic then. So we did originally plan this as being an episodic game.
Yeah.
Like in our head, in my head, and in our head. I'm sure in our head. I don't want to put
our collective head.
Our collective head.
Yeah.
Well, you had the idea of episodic, actually.
Yes, because I was kind of thinking around the world in 80 days, right? Like that was my kind of, and then obviously played 80 days and thought, well, okay, so that's one way of doing it. So this was going to be East Coast of, West Coast, as it turned out to be, of America to East Coast, and then we were going to do maybe Europe, and then Asia, and so on and so forth. So, whether like if people like making it home USA, then maybe there's an opportunity to do some interesting things after that.
I think it's like one of those things of, if people gel with it, like it, then we would make another episode. Like this is going to be a full like you kind of think of episodic as being, and this is maybe where we fell down, is that we didn't make this first one small.
Well, yes.
Well, I suppose, but it's the engine. Like we're making the engine, right? So
that's what's taken the time.
That's what's taken time. So yeah, but the idea is then you can do it based on, is this successful, and if it's successful, we would want to, yes, we would absolutely want to do a next like an airship or a boat.
Yes,
would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd be super cool.
But it really depends on that kind of like, as much as we were talking earlier about like not being driven by that business, like we have to be, right?
Yes,
like at some point we're our business and we need to think that way.
Yeah.
But so yes, we are thinking episodically, and
that's that. Yeah, I suppose that's like informed our design choices and the way we've taken our design. That was in our minds to begin with. It certainly made that idea of we're going to make Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. They're going to have different backgrounds. They're going to involve different characters and so on and so forth. It made that leap a lot easier that we were already thinking along those lines.
Yes. So, but now like those 3 episodes are in the first game.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay, so this is, you got some new panels here.
My next blueprint vendor is Backwards Bellows, which is kind of the opposite of what we've got at the moment, which is kind of super interesting when you've got that alongside the Forward Bellows.
Yeah.
Turbine and headlights, both of which are quite new to the game.
Yeah.
Last time we streamed, we definitely didn't have headlights, and we definitely didn't have a turbine, although we probably did have a propeller.
Yeah, so the turbine could be blown by the bellows you've already got.
It could be, yeah, could be. So from a player movement point of view, this is more interesting. But I'm also super interested in Backwards Bellows interacting with the Forward Bellows for interesting kind of
good
wall jumping.
This is a hard
engagement.
Decision.
It is a hard decision. I mean, headlights are fine, but like I think these 2 are the more interesting to start with.
Yeah, I think so.
Like headlights become really useful the bigger the vehicle gets.
So H has asked, what's the decision behind making the bellows single use? They're multiple use, but they take a long time to reset.
Yeah.
So they give you a really big boost, but then it takes a while to get that reset, which I've like got some scribblings of equations and calculus that roughly means that it balances with the ones that like the other panels that give you thrust through like constant. If that makes sense.
Balls that up straight away. Oh, well, that's harder than it actually looks. I thought that was going to look super sweet, and it's actually quite difficult to nail those jumps. Because you kind of have
the other thing, Dave, you can use the dash to help you with fix your wall jumps.
Yes, that's very true. But that, there we go. That wasn't elegant or as cool as I'd hoped it would be, but
so the bellows, like I think it's about like a minute, or every minute or 2 minutes they reset. But we might not have been in a leg long enough to see that.
We did definitely see it, but I mean there was a lot going on. I don't blame anyone for not seeing it. I have made carrots absolutely disastrous for me, though. So,
what are carrots, Dave?
What are carrots?
I know what carrots are, yeah.
You eat them because they're good for you, and apparently they used to let you see in the dark, but I think that's been debunked since, since science happened. Yeah, do you not?
No, I knew about that. I didn't know that was debunked.
You think that's still genuine science? Okay. I mean, you're the scientist, so I bow to your greater knowledge. Ah, God.
So that bellows kind of reset.
They're resetting, yeah. But in the game, so I mean, I don't know. What do you think? What does chat think the carrots might represent?
Could carrots push bellows? Oh, that's an interesting one. Well, so the carrots are meant to be bad.
Yeah.
Well, the carrots are bad. So the carrots add drag, so they're kind of a negative effect. We have thought about, we have on our list of like our like panels to implement. We're going to have like, well, I always hate to say we're going to have, we might end up not going in that direction, but like on our list of potentials is some kind of like boulder type thing that then will hit the bellows. So like this idea of like things physically hitting bellows and setting them off is something we've been toying with. For sure.
Finally got the carrot.
I have been thinking like about whether or not we need to have more than just carrots, like other vegetables.
So why carrots, Sean? Like, what's the thing?
That's spoilers, Dave.
Have we encountered something or someone that might like traditionally like carrots?
Type of creature that might, you know,
be regularly associated with carrots. Is that fair to say?
Crabs.
Crabs love carrots. It's a lesser known fact. Along with smoking, crabs love carrots. Everyone knows that.
So I've tweaked the movement actually since you last played.
That must be why I'm so bad at wall jumping.
Oh, but bad. Like I made it easier.
That sounds about right. Anytime Sean says I've done something, I either miss it completely or it has a negative effect on my gameplay. No, I'm sure you haven't. Oh, there we go. I'm so in it, like I don't even notice I'm near the end, which I think is probably a good thing.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've played this through with the new leg lengths.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
that as well. Okay, yeah.
Actually, let's get this train on again.
So yeah, we definitely. So Nacho said about different types of things coming in, and that's something that as you go to different acts for sure is like we're going to have like different types of hazards, and we'll do different things. We're gonna wait, is cacti a veg? Like you can eat cactus, right?
You can definitely eat cactus. Yes.
So I think I count as a veg. What is a veg?
Ooh, getting into deep territory now. What is vegetable?
If you eat it, is it a vegetable?
No.
Well, I mean, like fruit is fruit.
Fruit, yeah. Oh, obviously, yeah. But you eat that.
You can ferment and drink cactus. Yep. I've not done that.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of cool.
What is tequila made of?
Tequila's made of agave.
Agave, there you go. Which is kind of... Is that in the same family as cacti?
I don't know what agave is.
Well, Google.
Other than, like, it comes in that... Like, I've got some in my fridge and it's super sweet.
Yeah, it's like... some people use it instead of maple syrup.
Yes. Is seaweed veg?
Ooh.
Yes.
Or is it the fruit of the sea?
No.
Okay.
It's fruit is like seeds have to be in it, right?
Sure.
And veg, that's what fruit is.
Is it seeds on the outside doesn't count as well, right? Like that's one of the weird things about like is it like oh god, I'm trying to concentrate and talk.
I don't think that's a weird thing. Seeds on the
so there's a difference between seeds on the inside and seeds on the outside.
So like sweet corn is a vegetable, not a fruit. Because it's the seeds, yes.
Yeah.
Strawberry is
the one. Like that's the one that I go to because it's got seeds on
inside strawberry as well, isn't there?
I don't think there is, dude. Someone get a strawberry.
I consult my science. Someone post the strawberry emoji. Peanuts aren't nuts. What?
See, everything you thought you knew, you come to this stream to relearn. We're all about the learnings.
Mm-hmm. How are you finding the move? Like, so I really like the dash. Obviously, I like. Sorry,
yeah.
I realize that I'm saying I like things about the game that I'm making, but I do, and hence why I'm okay with it. But I think the dash has added the dash and the wall jump together make the movement feel very fluid and get you into that fun zone, that flow state.
Yeah, you can do some gnarly. That's a word that people may or may not know. You can do some pretty gnarly moves with the player movement at the moment. I'm not very good at things like that, so I imagine the skill level of someone who is.
Well, something you did just then is that I was tweaking the wall jump to give you parkour. We should use that. That's a word we need to.
That's very true. Yeah, Ladybug does parkour.
Yeah, so
get that parkour.
Something I played with a lot is how long you lose control when you do a wall jump.
Mm-hmm.
So if you notice, you when you hit the wall jump, she pushes herself away from the wall and the player loses control.
Yeah,
because you have full air control throughout normal.
Yes, normal.
But I wanted to make it so you could wall jump over, like those what you're doing there, where you went up and you wall jumped from one side of a wall to the other, and so I had to change it so the wall jump takes control for like I think it's a 10th or 20% of a jump, and then you can take control, which gives you this nice kind of like.
It did feel
get a nice feeling.
Yeah, it did feel that it was actually quite challenging to hit that back and forth kind of thing because I was jumping too high.
Yeah, it's because we've kind of the jump is balanced for jumping from into a panel, not on the side of the panel.
Sure. Yeah.
Like so, doing both those things at the like.
You can't have it.
A jump height that is going to work with both of those things isn't really going to happen. Or I don't know how you do that. If you could do it, I don't know if that's even possible.
Let's map it out.
Like you would design a platform. Yeah, you would design a platformer in a very different way.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you would design a whole platform level around that.
Yeah.
Where the bits where people the wall jumping is going to be good. So this is okay, right? So we were talking about this idea of the structure of acts, right?
Yeah.
And this is you're in an important.
I sure am.
Vendor.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain why?
No, you crack on. You were there.
Okay, so now what? So we have 3 acts in the game, or we will have 3 acts in the game, and there are going to be different blueprints or panels for each of those acts, right?
Yep.
So far you've seen Act 1 blueprints, but in this final vending machine, or like it's not a vending machine anymore, but this final place where you get to pick a blueprint, there is a chance of you getting a blueprint from Act 2.
Ooh.
It's like in Burnout Paradise and in those Burnout games where you start the game and you get to drive the really fast car, and then you have a preview of what's coming.
Yeah.
And so you've got that electric fan there.
I do have the electric fan.
That is a second leg. That's a second act.
That's a big ladybug tool. Yeah.
Yes, that's like a game changer, really.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference to my vehicle build.
And so that's what's okay. Yeah, we'll talk about this once we've gone through it. Like, this is what I'm finding really interesting. Is the idea of you planning based on what you expect to get further down the line. But
sure,
anyway.
Which I haven't done. So yeah, do I want electric fans?
I think just to show it.
Sure. But I have like tons of money, and also wait. Okay, fine. I need to get cracking because Ellen's. It's the rabbit race.
Yes. So H said is forward-facing, not counterintuitive.
So many things about that are potentially counterintuitive. Right, off I go.
Yeah, we need to figure out a way of like naming these things. Just we don't really need to name them. It's just like this is the fan. They're all fans, but
but the direction of them when you choose it is important.
But you can see it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you're racing a rabbit.
I am racing a rabbit. Like, people will maybe remember that rabbit from earlier Pillbug streams. My fan, by the way, is blowing air across these, so I don't have to wash those ones. Right? That's the fan jam. That's what the fans do, and they're great. They're God, that was awful.
That was really good. What are you talking about? That looks awesome.
It does look good, but it wasn't what I was trying to do. So those fans are like they are next level stuff for this particular game. They're like the automation is a key part of it because there's so much that you want to be doing at any one given time.
Yeah, exactly. H like so it doesn't add momentum. It's like a utility panel. I guess we're going to start calling them.
Yeah. You're going to start seeing like there's Ellen. You're going to start seeing coins do all kinds of weird movements as well, and that's because the wind affects them. The wind jet that coin just stopped midair for no obvious reason, and it's all because the lady loves milk tray. Wow, that's a weird reference from back in the day.
That isn't it? Yeah, that's.
So we need more engines because now we've got loads of solar panels. They're jamming out some energy.
That's something we need to look at, like based on the Astroneer stream, is like trying to think. Like, so at the moment, the electric engines have a maximum electricity they can take. Is that the best way to say that?
Yeah. Yes, they have a max. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we need to. At the moment, there's like an exclamation mark. We just kind of like shove it in there. Right?
It needs to say max.
Yeah,
max
or it's
power.
like the kind of like the Astroneer approach of almost.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. It takes me by surprise every time.
I've reduced the number of carrots because they were kind of like.
Have you?
Yes, they were like. I realized it became kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
When like you started to be like, did I lose because the carrots? It felt like you were losing because it was unfair, rather than you just weren't going fast enough. Now people have been betting on whether or not you're going to beat the rabbit. By the way,
I'm gonna destroy this rabbit. Like my vehicle was I've got those fans have taken me from 0 to 60 in quite a significant way. I think.
You're not getting 60 yet.
Well, all right, touche. In fact, but it's nice that people really believe in me. That they were betting. They were betting for me, right? Oh God, carrots to the left of me, carrots to the right. I need to build another engine, really.
So yeah, I don't know if do we need to make.
Oh, there she goes.
The fans are like, sorry, that the carrots are making you slower. Like you can feel it, right? But like, is it?
Is it obvious enough? I don't know. There's a good chance that it's not. It's not intuitive. Carrots don't make you go slower. That's not something everyone just like knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's an argument that you need to maybe.
Have we thought about the message we might be giving to young people?
Like, to eat carrots? No, they're not bad. You eat them, and they're good because they've gone away. That's a good message. Oh, look.
What if we made it so that you could see better in the dark the more carrots you ate?
Yeah, that could be legit.
No, we decided that is okay. That's good science. Isn't it?
Good science.
It's
like, it's not bad science. It's not harmful science. It's not it's not like don't vaccinate your kids.
Yeah.
Ooh, too topical. Too topical for our streams. But you might also, those of you who are eagle-eyed who can actually see the different. It's really easy for the player, but I appreciate it might be a bit difficult on stream. Wow, I got destroyed by that rabbit. Wow, yeah. I thought I was really onto a winner thanks to that fan.
Yeah, the rabbit's like almost got to the A in Las Vegas.
I didn't realize she keeps going. That's like a real.
Yeah. I don't know whether to fix that or not. That's kind of oh my God. I don't know.
All right. So, what happens when we lose, Sean? We go back to the start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. What happened?
Yeah.
Did you click continue? Because you missed a thing because you didn't click continue.
I thought what were my other options to click?
You clicked exit, save, and exit.
So I can continue from here then.
Yes.
There we go.
Because you need to be given a choice.
Ta-da! Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
Just so used to being like, right, all right, my gifts are done. Out I go. Okay, so here's what's this, Sean?
Okay, so you lost the encounter, but we've only implemented losing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Well, no, we've implemented winning. But
is that suggesting? Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, we've never had a need to implement winning. Yeah. So so the idea is like you're the writer. You're going to explain why this happens, but that you lose, and then you have like some kind of conversation with Ellen.
Yeah.
About losing and how losing is bad, but
she's going to be super nice about it because she's a lovely older
she's
sister.
really nice. And you're gonna end up going back to Santa Ana.
Yeah,
but as with everything in life, the process, you learn something.
Boy, did we learn things.
We learn a lot, and
so many things.
We can unlock one of these panels permanently.
Okay.
Permanently. For all future runs.
Mm-hmm.
So which of those three Like, this doesn't seem like a very hard decision, does it?
Oh, I do like an electric engine in the morning, but no, obviously we want to get like we're not sure. Are we yet about like how this will how the Rolodex will work, how the cards will be dealt, but for today I'm going to obviously pick the forward facing let's do this. The forward facing fan. That's the spirit, says Rusty. Now, this isn't going to be easy, but what in life is? That's the truth. I've said I was ready, didn't I? You got some learning to do. He still thinks we've got some learning to do. I wonder why. Sure, Rusty. And he's going to be in Santa Ana. Now, Sean.
What?
Do forward-facing fans affect sales?
They do, but you're not going to have a solar panel to power them.
Yeah, that seems awkward. So let's go with the solar panel. I'm glad you reminded me of that, Sean. Otherwise, I would have looked very silly. Now, because our fans are forward-facing, let's try and do that properly. The best place to put them is probably there. Or at least the most obvious place, not necessarily best. So we're going to put one there, and then we're going to put this here. And we are not going to gain a huge amount of thrust, because obviously this one solar panel at the moment is trying to manage both of those things. All right? But we're now in a essentially, I don't know, what would you call that? It's not a closed system, is it? It's something else.
What? You're talking about parallel circuits and stuff.
Sure. Let's say I am. I don't know. Something that takes care of itself.
Oh,
like my cat.
A perpetual motion. No.
Yeah, sure.
The fan. Okay, right. The fan. The fan is blowing over the solar panel.
Yeah.
Self-sustaining.
Self-sustaining. There we go. And someone knows what they're doing around here.
Yeah. The fan blows on the solar panel, which cleans the solar panel. The solar panel powers the fan, which cleans the solar panel.
Yeah.
And the solar panel powers the fan. What's the fan do, Dave?
Cleans the solar panel.
Yeah.
And that's number wang, people. I don't have to do anything. Now, that's not the most exciting thing in the world, is it? Not doing things. So the question is next, whether or not I do something else. Because I'm not going at a particularly... I'm not going at a
You're going
speed.
like 5 miles an hour, which I think you were going faster than the last time you did this.
Yeah, definitely. But, I'm doing less. And we know what people who play games like to do is less than they have to do at any other point.
Do you think this is a good time to talk about the fun zone?
Yeah, maybe. And how automation ruins that?
Well, no, it doesn't.
I know it doesn't.
I think, So like our job as game designers is to try and keep people in the fun zone, like where this game is fun.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a couple, like the question is, where is this game fun? Like, and for me, there's kind of two main things we want to keep people doing. And one of it is like you learn how a panel works and you learn how two panels work together. And you want to, once you've learned that, the next time you build a vehicle, you can, use that information. Like you learn maybe in your run that you put the fan behind the solar panels. And so we wanted to make sure that there's two things that kind of fun is having a limited number of panels to pick from, which means you can't just do the thing you can do. And then the other thing is making you redesign your vehicle. Yeah. And that's where the reboot comes. And I think we can talk about like what you feel. How do we feel about that generally? Well, firstly, do you want to pick up
yes. What do you think? Now I've got some solar panels. I could get my sales, couldn't I? Yeah. And we have done forward bellows. So I mean, this works with my automation kind of approach. So
yes. H asked if there's a range on the fans, and yes, there is currently a range. I think it's like 3 or 4 panels, and it kind of like the wind gets less effective the further it goes. The wind also blows the player as well when the player isn't on the ground.
Yes, if I can. That's a bit hard to.
What do you think of the new thrust arrows then?
I think they work, yeah. Right, so.
Do you think they're better?
Yes. Although, did I have a problem with them in the first place? I don't know.
I think it's clearer when they're on the one panel that they deal with. Related to.
Yeah. I think that's probably true. I didn't quite pay enough attention to notice it with the bellows, but I'm assuming they kind of do the same. Yes. You can see me being moved around a little bit there.
Yeah, so the wind also blows the sails and moves, like gives you a boost, even though we know that isn't physically how it would work.
Wind does boost sails, Sean.
Yeah, but you can't put can you can you put a fan behind the sail of your boat that's on the boat and the boat goes faster?
Is this like if a tree falls in the woods, does it blow wind faster? I don't know. I don't because then the wind would be pushing back on the sail, would be pushing back on the wind, which would be pushing back on the fan. So nothing. Yeah. Well, is it? We've had some really funny arguments about stuff like this, right? I remember the best one for me was balloons. Do you want to talk the gang?
I think I've come around on the balloons thing.
Have you? Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So something that is your vehicle has weight, and the more panels you build, the heavier it is. So we thought a panel of balloons would be good that would reduce the weight of your vehicle. And so the way that you said you wanted it to work was that if you put
Mr.
balloons
Science here, just so we remember who's who.
So you wanted it to be balloons would only affect the column they were on.
Yeah. So it matter where you put them.
Yes. So it would matter where you put them, whereas I couldn't. I was like, that doesn't make any physical sense. Which it doesn't.
Which it doesn't.
But
yes.
But probably it makes sense from a gameplay point of view.
Yeah.
It makes it more interesting. So, screw it. It's a game. Which way did you go? Did you go a different way?
I did, yes. We're in Prim, I want to say. And only because I know them that well. But, Ellen's in Prim too. Ellen gets around. So we're gonna try a different route through this conversation. Good to see you too, sis. Don't call me that. You know I hate it when you call me that. You're right. I do know. Rusty warned me you'd be like this. So Ellen and Rusty, they talk, and I don't know why there's no dialogue here, Sean.
No.
Testing live on stream. Yeah, I'm sure that was a real zinger. I'm sure. Thanks, Rusty. ... Or maybe it was just because it's supposed to kind of move on to this bit. I missed him last time. I guess he just wants to help. You don't look like you need much help. Damn straight. Although we can only say, are you serious? So there must be something really wrong. You can't be in that much pain. Not really. What the hell would you know? I've been through worse. It didn't take me long to get back on my feet, get back to life. And then we're back to this kind of great pep talk coach. So we had quite a long discussion last night, didn't we, Sean, about the dialogue tree and how it does and doesn't work. So I'm intrigued by how players would respond to the fact that despite getting to this set of answers from a different course in a different truck stop entirely, right?
Yeah.
How they feel about the fact that they can now say great pep talk coach, or sure, I remember I was there, or one of the ones that maybe they did say before, maybe they didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in that because my response might be to be like, oh cool, I've got to this same point and I can kind of but it's been different, right? It's a different truck stop. But other players might be like, oh, that's a cheap trick almost, or a lame kind of catch-all mechanism. They might see it that way. So I am kind of intrigued by that. But it does let you say, right, just like you are redesigning your vehicle each time, maybe you're having these conversations a little different each time.
Yeah.
So, sure, I was there, remember, because we did the pep talk last time. You were. Come by and be off anytime, sis. You always know how to. So this is a different line as well, right? Like,
yeah, we didn't get this last time.
No. So, we haven't decided. Did we talk about swear words?
We haven't talked about swear words, and like, I was shocked the first time I saw that. Like, I was like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting him to swear."
SH1T, right?
Yeah. So I kind of. So we talked when we played that game that we played. What's the game? The Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium, yeah.
We were talking about how like you can't be subtle in games writing.
Yes.
Right? Is kind of that was like and I think you took that to heart. And,
well,
and
you've got to get the conflicts across quickly.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. And I kind of like, so on one hand, I think having this in there, it does what you want it to do. Right? It makes you think, oh, I wasn't expecting it to be this. But there is an issue there. One issue I can see is it's a cute game that people might buy for their kids. And then, like, so how do we make that clear that, do you know what, actually, like, other than there's a smoking crab, but like, is the smoking crab enough to say, like, I'm not going to buy this for my 13-year-old, but then they're buying Call of Duty for their kids.
I was going to say 13. I'm not worried about. It's like,
okay, whatever.
7 or 8.
Buying it for like 7 or 8. Would you?
I don't know. Like, I mean, like, we should know that, but I think like we can't stop people buying games for their young kids or whatever. But I think for me the bigger issue is that they're adult conversations. They're not. Yeah. They're conversations between two adults. They're not childlike conversations.
Yeah.
Right. So, and the aesthetic obviously jars with that. Like, it's a contrast, but the kinds of conversations they're having, the kind of the way they're talking to each other, it's not two young kids. So I think I understand if we want to avoid expletives and certain levels, because obviously swear words come in kind of like levels of acceptability, right? And we could maybe a goddamn is a bit more appropriate than shit. I don't know. We might feel that's better. But it certainly felt like, for me, whilst writing it, I was just kind of, writing how it felt like they might talk to each other.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose to shit on her day, as it were.
Yeah.
And she's obviously not impressed by that. Just don't take too long here. You've got a family, people depending on you. So that's another line that kind of is reinforced through various conversations with Ellen. And we're in Chambly. I'm assuming that's how you say it, but maybe it's Shambles.
We both said it different ways.
Yeah.
So we're gonna some questions.
Rain on My Parade would be a good example.
Yeah.
Sorry, of a good middle ground without the swear words.
So Nacho said, "Can players get passengers on the vehicle?" And that is something we talked about. We did talk about the idea of having friends.
Yep.
That was like definitely one of the original ideas.
Yes. And do you want to talk about why?
What? I can't remember.
Because it was a form of automation, because you could get your friends to do stuff.
Yes, that was it. Yeah. So the idea was your friend would run around, but then that was when the whole game was like it was just clicking on things. So you would have another. It would basically, it was essentially a worker placement game.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, you had another worker. So you could have someone looking after your sales.
So and one of the big things about like that for us as well was that we haven't really talked about how in Act 2, like at the moment, and this may change, but the kind of concept is you keep the same vehicle, right?
Yes.
So like even though I've just restarted and I'm with a different vehicle, like in Act 2 the idea is that you'll be building on the same vehicle, so it's gonna be huge is the idea.
Yeah.
So wow, I just jumped all around that coin. If like if your vehicle's that big, like moving around it's going to be quite the challenge. And I guess we kind of envisaged maybe like a Thomas Was Alone kind of system where you
Yes, we were going to have it so that you could actually switch control between two people.
Yeah.
And I've kind of... I almost don't want to say this out loud. Don't hold me to this. I've got some hooks for that. I've been implementing the engine with that in mind. And there's like an awful voice in my head that's like, I could try and just put another player character in here. Maybe it would just work. But like,
couch co-op could be cool.
Oh, don't say that. That's the thing I was avoiding saying.
Could be cool, Sean. The issue, as ever, with these kind of couch co-op games is the camera, right? Like, especially.
Like, do you know what? We just do the Splunky approach, which is like,
it
follows the player with the flag. Oh, we were going to do that. We were going to play Splunky. Maybe we should do.
Just to see how that feels. Yeah.
I kind of want to because. Oh, I don't want to say. Oh man. Like
that could be a stretch goal. If you tell two friends and they tell two friends and everybody in the world tells two friends, we can have couch co-op and making it home.
Yeah. I trust the people that like follow our stuff, that they know how stuff works, and that sometimes things you can say things and then actually when you try and implement it, it doesn't work.
Rusty.
So yes, so I like it's definitely a thing, and if that's Steam, because there's that Steam mode, right? That you can do couch co-op with someone remotely.
Yeah.
Which almost makes couch co-op a more viable feature.
Sure.
Because I don't think many. I still don't.
You don't buy the couch co-op.
I don't buy the
revolution. Yeah.
I just think that some people do it. And
some people have
sometimes.
Friends. Yeah. I mean, it's much easier with the Switch.
Friends. Like, I play online. I play with my friends online.
Yes,
I don't play like.
But
I love playing couch co-op at New Year's every year. But that's all I do. I do it once a year.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't think it should be in there. I just like.
It's a lot. It's a lot of development for potentially not a massive payoff. If the game isn't designed around couch co-op, right?
Yeah. Someone's gonna say, do you know what? Actually, I hope like. It wouldn't be a bad problem to have if a screenshot of that came out.
Welcome to our MMO, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. So we got another conversation here with Rusty. So yeah, I'm just gonna.
Rusty. So we're meeting Rusty again. We didn't last time.
Exactly. Different on the route. He says, "Hey there, kid. Hey, good to see you again, Rusty. I wasn't sure if I could come." Okay, interesting. Why not? You might not be ready to hear something like this. Ooh, Sean, intrigue. I'm not going deaf, says House. Sighs. One thing you should understand about Ellen right now, her son was expelled this week. Don't be ridiculous. They don't expel 9-year-olds. Expelled for what? What? Martin? So Ellen has a son. Named Martin. What do you think? What would be House is the middle one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Don't be ridiculous. They don't expel 9-year-olds. He started a fire out in the playground. It was quite a thing. Scientific. He didn't just strike a match. The school almost sounded impressed. Almost. Wow. He was always an
He was always an overachiever. It's definitely the one there.
He was always an overachiever. Yeah, so go easy on Ellen, okay? And then we're into a blueprint. Storying from left to right. So, what's blueprint?
Oh, you got a propeller.
Propeller and fans, ladies and gents. Let's do that. So now we're off to Searchlight, which is a real place.
What are you thinking of the loop? You can talk and play at the same time.
Well, yeah, I can now. I'm in build mode. Although I always do that. We have to take that bit out. For some reason, idiots like me see it at the end before it actually is at the end.
What are you talking about?
People probably at home have probably noticed that I weirdly every now and again stop building and have to build it again.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I don't know why. That's an interesting. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. Like
it's weird, isn't it?
I'm the same.
Look at those fans start. Look at them. Look at them go. Whee! There we go. So that was cool.
Yeah.
So fans.
So
go on. Sorry.
Propellers give you thrust.
Yeah. Which is why
fans blow propellers.
Yeah.
But also, I've done it now so that they all go in the same direction. So if you hit them now in the wrong direction, you just undo your hard work.
Yeah. Well, they get there eventually, but I mean, I've got to deal with these carrots.
The particles that come off the carrots turn the fans.
What? Oh, they're physical objects. Nice.
Yes.
So because the fans, the propellers, when you're not messing around with the fans, when you don't have a fan unlocked, they are based purely on the player physics, right? They are. You're the one that's moving them around, and the only way that's done. Yeah. So these carrots are really messing with my. So what I need to do is build like a layer of things that aren't propellers, because they're a real pain in the ass.
And the fans blow the
so you can
fans
go on.
Blow the carrots as well.
Yeah, because you can wall jump off these propellers.
Yeah, so you can do like I was playing with that. Like you can even jump off them if you balance well enough. So I've been playing with the friction of them. That gives you a little bit more chance to jump from it, and it feels like you're like that. I think it feels quite good. Like I think
it's pro strats.
We want to make you feel like you're doing cool stuff.
Yeah, you're a skateboarder as well as a ladybug.
Yeah, it's parkour. We've got the word now.
Yeah, God, yes, it's helpful having the word, isn't it? Yeah.
So H said, does the wind flow past through the sail? So yes, it the wind at the moment, it goes past. It like goes through things and affects them, and it just can continue on to the next thing. It doesn't like lose energy. I thought about that. I don't know if like maybe they're too powerful. They're like super powerful.
They are super powerful.
But then, so what I think is interesting is that before you get the fans, you do the thing where like you talked about the fun zone, right?
Yeah.
Of like. And you said, "Oh, you were joking," but the automation takes you out of it because you haven't got anything to do. But what it does is it gives you time to think about building. It gives you time to think about collecting those coins.
Yeah,
the things that you were struggling to do when you didn't have the fans.
Yeah,
because you were cleaning everything, and so it changes the focus of the game by the time you get into the second act.
Yeah, and I think that's important, isn't it? Like by that point, I think it kind of, you could argue it ruins Act 1. So maybe it might be okay to offer it as an unlock.
I mean,
but
you could argue that, but I think you'd be wrong.
Yeah, fair.
We have thought about Ladybird hats.
Hats are in, right? Like,
yeah, but I think for like achievement, doing achievements, maybe like it would be kind of cool to do like for doing so many weekly challenges, like getting a different colored ladybird.
Yeah. A different. Oh yeah. Okay. Like green.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like just.
Colours the ladybirds come in that isn't red.
It's really easy. Like it feels like it's an easy way of adding value, I think, and like people like that. We've talked about the idea of so like souvenirs that you get.
Yes.
So like on Mario Odyssey is probably the closest to that. Where on Mario Odyssey, your kind of like ship, you put stickers, like travel stickers on it.
Yeah.
As you visit all these places. So like the idea of people you meet are giving you souvenirs to collect. And you can to make it feel more like, so when we first started this, kind of our aim was to make you love your vehicle.
Yes. In
a kind of like Captain Kirk kind of Enterprise type way.
Yeah.
But then we kind of moved away that this idea of your vehicle kind of, if you fail, like you lose the vehicle.
Yeah.
That's kind of in but then that's because actually the fun in the game is designing new vehicles.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Dave, you have to answer this one since you're playing. The interaction with the fans is nice. It looks tactile. How does it feel?
Are we talking about these, the propellers? I love propellers. I think propellers are great. Like getting good at propellers, like what I wasn't doing then. I think is actually one of the more skill intensive elements of the game because you can really balls up a propeller. And you can also then do some pretty cool things jumping off and on them. They're one of the few, other than the bellows, they're one of the few things like you can just like jump around on them, and kind of seesaw on them.
And like jumping on them from high up and getting them really spinning.
Yeah. And that was like just a side effect, really, of the fact that we wanted the player, like, we were like, how do you spin these propellers? Well, it should be the player movement. And then it just so happened that when we first implemented it, it was like, wow, that's a really, because you can just kind of do weird things with the propellers, and it's loads of fun. Interesting choices here, Sean.
Yeah, you should do it based on not what you want to show, but how you think you're going to beat the rabbit. Because I'm guessing this is going to be your last attempt at the rabbit.
Okay. But I mean, that's really a good question. So that rules out the catapult. As much as I got a lot of love for the catapult, that's not going to help me in my current build. Is the turbine really necessary? I've got quite a sweet electricity setup, right? Like, do I need more electricity? But then the other thing is the floor bellows. I don't really have any way to benefit from, like, I don't have any that jumps down on stuff. Like, I don't have a catapult or anything.
So, like the higher you hit the bellows from, the more you get from it.
Yes.
So the other thing is the other kind of meta thing you might be thinking about is that what panel do you want the chance of unlocking permanently?
Oh, that's true. I mean, it's got to be turbine then, really. Like, would work best with this. Right, I'm going to try and beat this rabbit this time. Right.
Okay.
I'm in rabbit beating mode, I think.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is with the rabbit encounter is that you need to just start going. You can't sit and build.
You can't build, yeah. So, like, giving me a panel there is not actually that helpful. Because I'm like, I gotta get going. All right, gotta get my electricity moving.
You've only got one electric engine.
I do. That's very true. That should probably be much more.
Well, you've got 107.
So now I'm actually going to build some engines. Right. That's an oversight.
So I changed it, like. So you know the drag. So there's this system of there's drag on the vehicle, and the drag is what it was before is based just purely on the height. But the problem that made is that the best way to get a good vehicle was simply to build a long vehicle.
Yeah.
Because drag. So now what I've done is there's also friction on the wheels, so the longer it's not as it doesn't increase the drag as much as like building up high. But it does have an effect so that it's a bit more balanced. Otherwise, like you just have like one layer, and that's kind of like that's not. We don't want to have like that obvious choice. Yeah, I haven't got enough money for that.
I know. I just realized I was like, oh, I'll build this one instead. No, Dave. Yeah. That's the same cost as the one you just couldn't afford.
You could have just got 2 coins, and then you'd have like that are all going past you. But you know.
No one likes a backseat driver, Sean.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. You got 2 sails that aren't up.
You. Right. What am I doing? I want to continue building this way.
So your engines still aren't at max power, so you could still build more engines and get something from it.
Or you mean more solar panels? Oh God! Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, actually you're right. Yeah, more engine.
No, more engines is the opposite of what I need. Yeah. Did you see me floating around there while I was doing my? That's cool. I was just spamming eat. The eat animation is one of the few kind of major animation things we gotta do still, isn't it?
Yeah.
That needs some work. As much as it might feel good, it doesn't look as good as it needs to.
Yeah, do you think it's the right speed and everything? I know we talked a lot about that.
I think so. I like. I also noticed. I think you've added like a dynamic sizing to the. Oh God. to the leaves? Like, because I didn't remember them getting bigger right before, right?
Yes, I have. That is something I've done. They are. I've made them a bit bigger so you notice them.
Yeah.
So Frozen's asked, how do you know the usage and capacity levels? And I think that's something we need to get in there, which is, I think we need some kind of like meter or something. Like on Astroneer. Like, even if it's just like some kind of like, I don't know what it will look like to show you how close. Because I think it's important to know that you need that information to make the decision. Do I build? Because you don't know if it's like 1 milliamp or something,
1 unit away from being ready,
0.01 or something, and then like, but we don't want people to be like mathsing it out.
No, it's
by just not showing numbers, but showing like
1 to 4 kind of like in terms of how you're doing. I can definitely put some more stuff. I don't have the
this looks a bit closer.
Have I got another carrot volley is the question. Oh, here she comes!
Oh, did you?
I look like I won.
No,
because it's so this is the problem with this encounter right at the moment.
I don't think you won there.
No, I didn't, and you know why? It's because Sean, in his kind of we must stop people cheating the system kind of mode, has made it so it's not the front of the vehicle that counts, like in every other race ever. It's the back of the vehicle, because that's the workshop. I mean, to me, that just says that it encourages you, instead of encouraging you to build along, it encourages you to build up. And only one column. So I've argued strongly that it should be the front of the vehicle. That because that's how every other race in the history of races. But then the
rabbit would have to start at the front of your vehicle.
Fine, yeah, that could work. But I mean, it's a bit weird if you
don't see her. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, H is right. So I think we're going to try and do that, just showing the percentage, kind of power usage is how to do it. So this is a really kind of bummer unlock panel, right? Because it's like the 3 basic ones.
Yeah,
but it means it's not really.
The one thing.
Unlock this. Go on.
No, all I was going to say is I don't know if electric engine, like what if I unlock this electric engine, right? Does that mean when I go back and I choose sails, I can build a sail and an electric engine?
And a solar panel. Like, we need to communicate it better, but you will also get a solar panel.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so these two shouldn't be separate choices, right?
No, probably not.
Okay.
But that's just something we need to do.
So if I just pick sail here, it means that I can pick solar on my, LA choice.
Yeah, and you'll have those all.
Yeah.
But yeah. So did you want to do the weekly challenge?
Oh, yes. Let me do that. Yeah, that'd be a giggle. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of the general kind of main loop of the game. But then we wanted to have kind of weekly challenges. So this is like, I think we'll do a daily one. I've been thinking about. I think we should do daily. And weekly.
Daily.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it gives someone to do. Like, it doesn't. It's like almost no extra effort to get a daily challenge in there. And I thought the daily challenge could be just 3 panels.
Okay.
And be slightly different somehow, right? So whereas this one, so basically it's kind of like a daily challenge in a roguelike kind of thing. So everyone will have these same set of panels to work with for this week, and that much money. We're also going to change the length of the leg as well, because if it's a long leg, well, it's all about your top speed. So like, if it's a long leg, you put a slightly different vehicle to get that top speed. Whereas a short leg, you've got to get your acceleration up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Did I explain that well? Like, it's pretty. You can just jump in and show, like, or talk about the panels that you've got available here.
Well, I was actually just having to think what do I actually want to do. So I've got sail in terms of my thrust generating panels. I've got sail, sealing bellows, electric engine, forward-facing. No, that's it. That's it. So I've got sealing bellows cell and an electric engine, and one way to generate electricity, which is the turbine.
So we need to communicate again. This is something to communicate better, but you always get solar panels because I thought.
Oh, okay.
There are some at the moment. Solar panels are always. You always need a way of generating
electricity.
There's so many electric panels that I think that's just for this mode. You just always get the solar panel.
Okay, so yeah, sealing bellows, but no, nothing to. All right, okay. I think I've got my jam.
Yeah.
So there's no timer either. That's the thing.
Yeah. So you can just sit here
and design. If you want.
and think, but you have a limited budget.
Yeah.
So obviously you can't undo. Yeah, exactly. So H is force it. It's like this is we're talking about the fun zone. And designing vehicles with panels combinations that you don't necessarily first think, because you could do your daily right and discover a combination you'd have never thought of that then you can take back into the kind of story mode, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously we want to get a leaderboard as well for this. That's the idea, is that there'd be a daily leaderboard or a weekly leaderboard for each of these things, so you can see how other people are doing. I think it's I'm so excited about this mode. I think it's really, I don't know. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I am excited about it. I think I'm gonna suck at it. Assume I'm gonna be awful at this mode.
But so the thing I like about the idea of the weekly, you've got a whole to really think about it and
really go deep,
to really come in and be like, oh, how do I do this? And it's also actually really good for us for testing, because I immediately when I put this in, and I don't know, I should have recorded it. Frozen said it would be good to see when things go really bad, but I had just the electric fans, the
I can't believe that I've got so much money. This is going to take forever.
Yeah, I know.
Go grab a drink, everyone. This could take a while.
Well, no, it wouldn't. You could maybe build in columns. Then you can just hold the button, right? Anyway, it's surprising how quickly you get through the money. Actually,
I mean, what's bananas about this is I have absolutely no idea if this is going to go any faster or better than something where I'm I just built 4 panels, right? That's what I'm worried about right now, is that I'm going to build something so enormous that it's just going to be absolute trash.
Well, and that's it's because it's going to be heavier.
Yeah.
So it's going to take longer to get up to a top speed. The top speed will be higher.
Yeah.
I've been trying to math this whole thing out.
Right, I'm just gonna leave it there, because otherwise, people are just gonna be I'm already bored of it watching me do this. Right, that bit's fun. Right, now I need to go back here and generate some electricity. Get this fan going. Although that fan, this is not nearly going to be enough electricity, Dave. What are you talking about, you madman?
You can build as you're going as well.
Yeah. Oh, hop, hop, hop. Okay, so maybe, is that enough to get my fan going? Yeah, okay, so fan's doing its thing. And then these guys are way off max. And we're at the dizzy heights of 10 miles an hour. So let's see if we can build some stuff that's generating another run of electricity.
And also the fans cool the electric engines, which increases their maximum capacity. By the way.
Right, just FYI.
Yeah.
Can I build quickly enough to catch that wind?
Because the slower...
Catch the wind.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, cool, did it. All right. Bellow time. Okay, now we're up to 20. Now we're cooking on something that might be gas. But none of our engines are at full yet, so we can maybe do a bit more. But
and also the more electricity you have, the faster the fans will go, so the faster those the turbines will be, so the more electricity you'll get, so the faster the fans will go, etc., etc. So as soon as we put this mode in, I did that, and like those fans were going like so fast. I did this whole leg in like 10 seconds, and I was like, okay, I need to. there's some issues there. That's yeah, the acceleration was kind of crazy, for sure. See, I think you're at your terminal velocity because you're like you were going 21, so probably. So you need more thrust, which if you'll see now, you've got more electricity. You're pushing through that barrier.
Yeah.
And so something I've managed to now measure the terminal velocity.
Okay.
I know it in code, so we could. I wonder if it's worth. Do we want to like maybe color that speed indicator by how close you are to the terminal velocity, so you have a sense of. I don't know. What do you think? Is that
to me, that's like I don't know. That's stuff I wouldn't want to know, but I'm the opposite of you, who would want to know those things. So yeah, this is my house. It's got a lot going on. It's got
still got $100.
I know. But we're quite close to the finish. I'm also aware. And you know, it's nice. It's got nice views. You know, good distance. It gets a bit windy at the top. But you know, it's pretty up here. Have you done this weekly challenge already, Sean?
I haven't. No.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna get one. So yeah,
I don't know what my speed is.
So I can now go on to here on my weekly challenge and see if that's an atrocious score that I can beat or not.
Yeah, we're obviously not gonna kick you back to the menu. I just haven't implemented that bit. I was walking my dog and like I realized how I could implement this really easily. So then I came home and did that.
So there we are. This is where we are with making it home. We've enjoyed checking it out with us. We've enjoyed playing it and seeing some of the stuff in action. There's a ton of work in the pipeline for it. Obviously hit those magic internet buttons. Those of you who haven't managed to wishlist the game yet, please do. That's a huge help for us. And where can people find us on the internet?
They can find us at pillbug.zone. And then that's a website.
Is it?
On the internet. Which I have recently updated and added stuff to. We've also, like, you know, it's looking great.
It is indeed.
And join our mailing list if you want to get in on the beta. If you,
yes, indeed. We are super close to being to send that out. I think I won't talk how close in terms of actual, you know, measurable time, but super close. To sending out beta keys. And we're really excited to get people's feedback and to have other players get their hands on the game.
Also, give us, you know, feedback based on this. If you haven't had time to kind of chat in the chat, you know, you can email us. You can find our email addresses pretty easily.
Or just hit us up on Twitter.
All the places. We're pretty easy and we're happy to talk.
Yep. Thanks very much, Sean, for giving us a bit of inside baseball on making it home. See everybody next week.
Bye, everyone.